Good afternoon to the conference organizers and conference participants. Today we would like to present the results of the research on CLIL as a key method of developing multicultural competence of pre-service English language teachers at primary school, conducted at the Department of Primary Education Theory and Practice at Donbas State Pedagogical University by Liudmyla Havrilova and Olena Beskorsa. The relevance of the issue of pre-service English language teachers developing multicultural competence is caused by the globalization processes which are civilization dominance, modern development of humanity, and imply strengthening the intercultural integration. Changes in the sphere of communication means have resulted in the crisis that is typical for the previous monocultural models of understanding social processes, turning multiculturality into the value criterion of social development. Ukraine is engaged in the processes of integration into the world community that causes the increasing interest in learning foreign languages, and as a result, the requirements to teachers' professional training have changed. They should both know the foreign languages well and build their own strategies of intercultural interaction with representatives of various foreign language cultures. The language education contributes to developing culture identity and improves the level of social mobility in multicultural society. The language policy is one of the key landmarks in the European Union programs. European Strategic Framework for European Cooperation in Education and Training emphasizes the priority strategy of learning at least two foreign languages starting from the early age in the comprehensive schools, further vocational training schools, and higher education institutions. The white paper on intercultural dialogue, living together as equals in dignity, reveals the role of language learning for developing cultural and social identity of a person, enriching their inner world, and developing multicultural competence. Skills Agenda for Europe includes the skills of intercultural interaction as an ability to understand human cultural diversity and to effectively interact in various cultural environments. After signing the association agreement between Ukraine and the European Union, eliminating the language barrier is the country's priority objective at the regulatory level. The conception of development of English language at universities emphasizes the necessity of teaching professional disciplines in the foreign English language. This recommendation corresponds to the world trend in education that is called content and language integrated learning, which implies the foreign language integration into the content of other academic disciplines. In our research, we outlined some ways of implementing CLIL for developing multicultural competence of pre-service English language teachers at primary school. The objectives of the research are to theoretically justify the opportunities of developing pre-service English teachers' multicultural competence by implementing CLIL in their professional training, to empirically verify the efficiency of implementing CLIL into primary English teachers' training. The effectiveness of the research on implementation of CLIL method was verified by carrying out the survey and tests. The research sample consisted of 38 pre-service primary school teachers who were studying at Faculty of Primary Technological and Vocational Education of Donbas State Pedagogical University. Based on the analysis of definition multicultural competence and its structure in our research, we determined the multicultural competence of pre-service English teachers at primary school as an integrated characteristics of a personality that comprises the system of multicultural knowledge, skills, awareness, values, and social experiences which can be developed in the process of professional training through getting acquainted with other people's culture and participating in the continuous communicative practice. Content and language integrated learning is a didactic method which is recognized as a priority trend of language learning in most European countries. Studying the advantages of CLIL, we have distinguished its three specific features that you can see in the slide. We have also described 4C parameters that should be implemented in the learning process. They are content, communication, cognition, and culture. Thus, in the research on the development of multicultural competence, CLIL is thought to be the key method which involves the socio-cultural component and defines the strategies of planning, pre-service teachers' communicative behavior in multicultural environment, integrate the language material of professional linguistic training. The process of developing the multicultural competence of pre-service primary school teachers of English was made according to three stages designed. They were motivational and value-based, operational and cognitive, reflectional and evaluative. To measure the students' motivation, they should answer the questions about the role of multicultural competence for future English teachers at primary school, about their value orientation, which were both professionally significant and universal values, and about the interest in studying foreign cultures. The compared results of the surveys before and after the implementation of CLIL in professional training are depicted in the slide. To measure the changes in the skills to conduct verbal and non-verbal communication and to plan and choose communicative strategies for certain situations in the multicultural environment, the pre-service teachers participated in testing on evaluating the level of multicultural knowledge and skills of carrying out verbal and non-verbal communication. The compared results of the obtained data are presented in the slide. To involve students in the process of analyzing and assessing their levels of multicultural competence development, the discussion was chosen as the most acceptable form for this. Periodically, at the end of the studied topic, students were asked to reflect and self-assess their level of the multicultural competence development. The analysis allowed to realize the reflection and the ability to assess skills, as well as to single out difficulties that arose in the process of developing the studied phenomenon. To conclude, we can state the surveys and tests were conducted before and after the CLIL implementation for diagnosing the changes in the development of the multicultural competence of pre-service English teachers at primary school. They proved that the number of students who had the low level of multicultural competence development greatly decreased, whereas the number of students with medium and high level increased. The gained results of theoretical and experimental research convincingly proved the effectiveness of CLIL implementation for developing the multicultural competence of pre-service English teachers at primary school during their professional training. Thank you for your attention.